We're back outside today and we're going to be talking about love and why people don't believe in love. I just looked at my film and half of my whiteboard wasn't on the screen. I'm so sorry, okay? But hopefully you can still follow along. And if you're back, then hello. If you're new, hello. My name is Zubaida. I am a human on earth talking about love. That's my favorite thing to talk about, and that's what I want to talk about. I studied the human mind, the body, the soul, psychology. I was a therapist for X amount of years, and I studied religion and all these things. And I just want to tell you my perspective in hopes that you take it and apply it and test it out in your life. You never have to believe anything I say. You have all the brains, the spirit, and everything that you need to figure it out on your own. Hopefully what I say helps. I'm really sorry about the whiteboard. I will make sure next time. Hopefully the message still resonates and you get something out of it. Yeah. Not believing in love is the worst thing you can do for yourself, the worst way to live. As a human being, if you don't believe in love, it's not good for you. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your spirit. It's not good for your life. I understand though. So today we're going to talk about how we end up not believing in love and what love is, what forms of love, certain things like that, what the vibration of love is, what keeps us away from it, and whatever else. And I don't know if I'm going to cry this time. I hope I do, because when I'm crying, I'm telling the truth. But we're outside, so I'm so peaceful and so nice. Previously, we talked about pretty dark topics. I just had to get it out there. I was very in my masculine, because when I have to protect people and tell the truth in that way, I have to be like, which sometimes I have to be, but that's okay. Today, hopefully, that might come out, because there's light and shadow, so I have to talk about both aspects of the sword. I have my whiteboard in case I need it, if I need to draw anything, because I think out loud that way, so we'll see. Where do I start? Actually, I'm going to need the whiteboard right now. If you're thinking about romantic love, people will probably say something like, oh, it's not real, okay? You're delusional, or like you are living in a fantasy world, true love, like la 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 la. Especially with where the dating and unionness places in marriage are today. It just seems like there's a lot of chaos and not true love. But there's a lot of people truly falling in love. There is, I swear, it's true. Yes, okay, fine. You can agree. We can agree that maybe there's no such thing as romantic love or true love or destined love or whatever. There is. But let's say we can. But you can't deny that there isn't any such thing as loving your mother, loving your father, loving your siblings, loving friends, loving teachers, mentors. You have people that you have a great admiration and love and appreciation for. So why would we live in a world that love doesn't exist? Only for certain people there are, and that true romantic love, something that we need as human beings. Like, for example, there are certain religions that don't allow the priest or the whoever is in charge to be in love, because you have to be fully devoted to love. There are some that say no, you can. That's a part of your humanness, because you're not God, you're a human, so that's a part of your nature to be in love, to have a partner, to be in companionship. This is a part of our nature, so to say that it doesn't exist doesn't make sense. So when I talk about love ever on my channel, ever, take away the romantic love out of it. It's just love for what it means as a human being, as a psyche, as a spiritual being, what love is. We want it so much. We want that human nature, partnership, companionship, love so much, but because it's failed or not worked, or we don't see signs of it in the world, it doesn't seem believable, so we just disregard love completely. So you have to start from somewhere to understand that yes, love does exist. Now, the nature of a love between a companionship versus a romantic companionship is different. And then love to your work, to animals, love to your purpose, love to your community, love to your nation, all of that is different. It's practiced and felt, experienced in a different way. So I guess overall, we'll talk about how you can overall just not believe in love, because the romantic love is so murky, chaotic, tainted. Not that you can't undo it. You absolutely can undo it. But this is why. Okay, so this is the thing. This is you starting in your life, right? And let's look at life as if it was linear, which it can be looked at that way, but it's not. But if you look at life linear, this is, this is your birth, and this is your time span. This is now, which is always, but in a linear way, this is now. This is when you were born. Okay. So from then, 1 to 7, by the way, I have no idea what's going to come out, but 1 to 7, this is when your ego is being developed. And the rest of your life, you are either living in that ego or learning how to undo that ego. So from here, we've had experiences. From here, we've had experiences. Here is when you're making your emotional capacity, your perceptions, your relationships, your ideologies of the world, how to move in the world, how to get love, how to get things. This is why when kids want something, they know exactly how to tell their parents what they want to get what they want. They're all, ooh, kids are so freaking smart. Okay. So then based off of that, you go into this phase of your life after 7. Now you're having, maybe you had your first crush. I mean, people have had their first crushes right here too. You have your first crush, first breakup, first you fell in love, and all these different things. And you also might have parental issues. You might have issues with your friends. You might have a whole bunch of scenarios where you got hurt or somebody hurt, right? Or somebody hurt you, or you've done something to hurt somebody else and they've done something to hurt you in one way or another. Not because humans are unloving beings, because they just don't have the capacity to give a shit or care about you or care about someone else other than themselves. It's because we're going based off of all our basic needs instead of intellectual wisdom is love. This doesn't make sense, but it helps me talk. So just, it's okay. So so it's not because people are unloving, it's because you've been going through something off of your like 1 to 7 year old knowledge instead of getting more spiritual based knowledge or accurate knowledge or not attached knowledge or alchemical knowledge, a firsthand experience, finding the truth from nature, listening to your intuition, because all of that is blocked off on this place unless you start really listening to your heart, which everybody obviously tells you, don't listen to your heart. That's the stupidest thing you could do, blah, blah, blah. But your heart has an intelligence of its own that your brain does not have. Your heart also has an 8-mile radius to have magnetic attractive energy. So what about that? Anyways, so now, because you're going based off of this knowledge, you can't uphold love, companionship, dedication, loyalty the way that you truly want to, so much so that you just believe it's not real. That it's just not real. You could have been doing things wrong too. You could have been lying, cheating, stealing. People could have been lying, cheating, stealing on you. All this stuff could have been happening, not because that's the truth of human nature. That's the truth of the ego. If you're going off ego, there is no such thing as love. Ego doesn't think that there's love. Ego doesn't believe in love. Ego is going with the times of what's going on right now. Your soul, like your feelings, your emotions, what you're told to be tapped out of is timeless and based on accuracy, truth, authenticity to your human nature only if you allow it. This is why people don't believe in love, because you've been through so much stuff without the true knowledge of, did you know that? Okay, so forgiveness isn't, okay, let's this is so exciting. Okay, so okay. Love is something that you have to experience and witness through your mind, body, and soul. It's not something that you can see from the outside, because everybody's love is going to look different. Everybody's experiences are going to be different. Everybody's healing is going to be different. Everybody's purpose is going to be different. So yes, we can learn from each other. That's what we're doing right now. But you have to find your own way. In no way am I telling you, listen to every single thing I say. I'm saying take it and go out into your life and go experience it for yourself. Let your ego and your soul get a chance to get your wisdom that's locked in your heart, not just going at it mentally. Okay? So, one of the ways that you really need to actually experience love in your body, in your being, let's say forgiveness. This is a very, very hard thing to do, right? Actually, truly forgiving someone is very hard to do just mentally. Okay? So, let's say, okay, this is your, brain, right? Okay. Gosh, why am I? Okay, this is your brain, and actually you're sad. You're sad because you got hurt, somebody hurt you, whatever, and you want to forgive, right? So let's say from your mind, okay, I should forgive. Forgiveness is good. My parents told me to forgive. My religion told me to forgive, and I want to be forgiving, whatever. Fine. Okay. You do it through through verbalization. I forgive you, whatever. But in your little tiny heart, right? I say little tiny because If your heart is not vibrating through that 8 mile radius that I said, it's going to be a very small field, which you cannot capacitate forgiveness. Forgiveness is big energy. It's huge. Okay. So if you do it here, you have that 2 mile radius. All right, I did it. This is just a figure of speech type of thing to help you understand that love is something experienced and then you act on it through truth, not based on these ideas. And I want you to be able to experience it internally, not just forgiveness, but there's so many other different ways to experience it, right? So when you do it through your heart, you actually have steps on how to move forward. What's the best thing for you and the other person? Not only yourself, because here is like, okay, it's myself. I need to protect my identity. I need to be a good person. I need to forgive. This is the right thing to do, even though my heart isn't nuts and I'm not ready to forgive. It's like you breathe into it and you have that capacity to truly forgive, where you're not holding any grudges, where you're not sad anymore, where you truly still love the person. I still love you. I forgive you. Whether that means we can be together, be around each other, be friends, whatever, or not, that's a different story. That depends on the ego level of how much they want to cooperate, et cetera, or maybe your timelines with each other, if you're supposed to continue or not. So this is why it's not something that you can, forgiveness even truly, you can't really experience through your head if your heart is closed. It holds a very big energy to truly forgive someone, not just speak it, but to feel it from inside, which is what love teaches you how to do. So until you have experiences like this, you can't really know what love is. That's what Rumi talks about all the time. That's what Rumi talks about all the time. Ugh. Love is an endless, endless, endless stream of flow. It never stops. It never stops. Oh! I might not cry, but I'm going nuts. Okay, I think that was really just it. Okay, so this is why people don't believe in love. You've been hurt too many times. You made mistakes. You can't forgive yourself. People have made mistakes. You know, maybe your parents weren't the most loving and nurturing. And even if they were, as an ego through that 1 to 7 years old, you could take anything as not love because you don't know any better, right? Maybe you did something wrong and your parents yelled at you because they're trying to protect you and preserve you from the world or what they think is bad, whether it's bad or not. So now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm unloved. They yelled at me, you know, oh my God. So you won't know any better to say, hey, this is a parent figure. And maybe they were loud, maybe they were strict, versus they're actually super freaking abusive and you feel unloved in that area and you sort of carry it around. So you're carrying a lot of stuff because you haven't had that alchemical process of forgiveness or giving naturally. Because a lot of the times, like, let's say if you give charity, but you're giving charity because like, ooh, God's gonna bless me if I give charity. That's not alchemical process. That's going through it with your head. Okay, so faith is something that you can't, faith is a brain state. Faith is a brain state, but if your spirit isn't hitting that brain state, you're going through it mentally. You're going through it mentally. Your vibration is like this small. You have to have your whole entire body, mind, and soul working with you. So that was another example of how to actually experience alchemical love, because all of those things are love. And think about it this way: the only reason why any of us want to be successful, want to be expansive, want to be doing better work, or impress our people, or support our people, or do anything, it's all for love, for to either receive or give love. Just basic human nature. Also, anything that you're trying to do is to gain a mate. Anything that you're trying to do is gain a mate. Because that's your human nature. It's your human nature to find somebody to share love with. It's your human nature to share love with someone. And whether it's you want to look good, or you want to get more money, or you want to be talented, or you want to capacitate more, or you want to give more, or you want to receive more, all of that is a part of love. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Yes, you want to look good for yourself. Yes, you want to do, of course, 100%. You can only get the love with someone if you do all those things for yourself. Then you kind of like, whoop, that's how it's supposed to go. Because if you're only doing it to get that thing, you're also going through it mental. You're not going through it in an alchemical, hey, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I love to be. This is how I want to be loved. And then it can actually align. But also, if you're not shedding away all of the stuff from 1 to 7, or all of the mistakes and misgivings and hurts and all the things from your like 20s to 30s, it's going to be very hard to actually understand what love truly is. I guess I'm on a mission. I really just want everybody to fall in love with themselves and with their partners and with their parents and with their everyone. And listen, not everybody can commune with you in love. That's the truth. Do we all have capacity? Yes. It is my belief that we do all have capacity. It is a choice. It is a strength. Woo! It is an utter strength to be able to love, to be able to give it, receive it, stop it, hold it, retrieve it, to do anything with love. It's a great strength. In short, there are reasons why people don't at the masses don't believe in love. But if you're someone who does, you could be someone who like really believes in love but just doesn't know how to witness it. You could be someone that like, I give up, I can't do this no more, love doesn't exist, my parents hate me, my friends are stupid, blah 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 blah, they cheated on me and lied on me and stole on me and they blah 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 blah, all that stuff. You could be any one of those people, but the truth is love is a part of your human nature. It's part of all of our human nature, but you have to be willing and strong enough to feel it. So, damn, I didn't cry. I think I was just way too excited today. All right. Well, thank you so much. Take care.